Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Cap Recovery Center. This is our Freedom Fridays meeting for the day. The article I have here is Live with Purpose by Breaking Out of Your Self-Made Prison. And this article is by drpatwilliams.com. So if you like this article, you can go to drpatwilliams.com. So let's hop into it. It says, do you feel like you're living in a prison sometimes? One that you built yourself. You're not alone. As a coach, I've met people every day who have created stories about their past and about their future. Based on feelings of shame, guilt, and self-doubt, I've also met people who hide away their gifts, keeping them under lock and key. They're afraid to share their strengths and vision for fear of rejection. You want to live with purpose and help others do the same, but the boundaries you've created stop you from following through. It doesn't have to be like that. Let's plan a jailbreak together. So some of the things we talk about in recovery is like our self-made prisons. I definitely can relate to that because I created my own prison in my own mind. Right, I was full of self-centeredness, self-obsession, shame, guilt, fear, resentment. So I have all these things, and I created myself ultimately. Right, I created a lot of chaos and conflict in my life that it was very harmful for me and others around me and my family and friends also, because my mindset, my perceptions, and my thought patterns were really damaged and clouded with drugs and alcohol. And I was very negative, and I created this big old wall up in front of others that I couldn't see over it, and I was killing myself slowly but surely, and so I had to break out of my self-made prison because I had to do something different this time when I got into recovery, um, asking for help, right? Asking for other suggestions and asking for guidance, and we need help. I think not just in recovery, but we need help in life in general, right? Like if we cannot go through life alone. It's not for me. It's not possible, right? So like when I came in recovery, I built a network of people, right? And so I joined a 12-step fellowship, and that's my pathway. And like I built, like I said, a network sponsor, right? I go to church, so I have a pastor, I have mentors, I have coworkers, I have a lot of support, I have a therapist, so stuff like that to break out of my self-made prison. Because the only thing I was trying to do was kill myself with drugs and alcohol, and like I was trying to navigate through life through self-will. I was trying to do things on my own. I was trying to do things my way. I wasn't trying to take no guidance from nobody. I wasn't willing to listen, and it always ended me in jails and institutions, and ultimately almost death. So let's see the next one. It says change is inevitable. Progress is optional. Throughout your lifetime, change is going to happen. Sometimes you choose to change. Other times, change will choose you. Either way, you're going to experience some discomfort. Your values will be challenged. Your knowledge will be tested. Your confidence will be shaken. Wow, that's powerful. It talks about feeling discomfort, and that's one thing. Like I was discomfort in my own skin. Like I was not comfortable who I was and the things I was doing. Right. So I learned in recovery like I had to be comfortable being uncomfortable, which can be tough. That doesn't happen overnight. It takes work. It takes time. It says you're going to change, or change will choose you. Either way, you're going to change for the good, or you're going to change for the bad. So it's like I had to, you know, seek guidance. I had to ask for help, and like change is very important. If I'm not willing to change, then I'm not going to be able to get better. I want you to think of it this way. Though each change is an opportunity to learn and grow. So if the change is going to happen anyways, what path will you choose when it comes along? Will you choose to retreat or go forward? As you face the path in front of you, How will you respond when you're uncertain about what to do next? Today never hands me the same thing twice. And I believe that for most everyone else, life is also a mixture of unsolved problems, and with the very few moments of clear peace. My struggle with today is worthwhile, but it is a struggle nonetheless, and one will never finish. And it talks about today never hands me the same thing twice. Life can give you a mixture of things that it can overwhelm us, it can upset us, right? It can present uncomfortable emotions and feelings that we don't like dealing with. That's one thing I used to use over with, uncomfortable feelings, right? I don't want to feel. I don't want to deal with reality. I wanted to live the way I wanted, and that was it. So like I had to start acting accordingly to the world has say, like working and being respectful and being trustworthy and stuff like that I was not. I was always running on my own juice and wanting to do what I wanted to do, and I wasn't caring about anybody else but myself. Let's see here. It says embrace the uncertainty. If you want to live with purpose, you have to embrace the uncertainty. All too often, our discomfort around admitting we don't know exactly what to do in a given moment, especially as a therapist and a coaches, and prevents us from being authentic. Hijacked by our Amy, I don't know that word. It says we go into fight or flight mode when we're on uncharted territory, and most often our responses do more to harm than good. Give yourself permission to be uncertain about your next step. It's all right if you don't have all the answers, whether you're talking to a loved one or a client. The key is to seek out a committed listener who will let you process your own discomfort and uncertainty so that you're free to listen to your spouse, your colleague, your coaching client with an open mind. Remember, while it's healthy to reveal your true self, choosing the right place, time, and audience is so important. If you want to be your best self with your friends, family, and peers and clients, it's imperative that you find someone who can help you navigate your own uncomfortable journeys. That's something what I found in recovery. It's like with my sponsor, my coworkers, and people that I trust in my network, that I can talk with them when I feel uncertain. Like what do I do next? Like, because we don't have all the answers. I sure don't, and I don't think anybody else does. Like, we're not perfect. We don't know it all, and that's what got me here in the first place. That's what got me in trouble in the first place is knowing things and things. I know what's best. Definitely not. My first thought is never the correct one. It's very small on a grand scale of my first thought is correct, right? So like I have to run things by past people, and like ask for help, ask for guidance, ask for suggestions, and actually follow direction and follow the suggestions. Like before, I would ask people, "What should I do?" or asking questions, stuff like that, and never apply what they were telling me. Right? I was never about action. Right? I always said things. I was always running out the mouth, and like it was, I never put the action in. And that's where the recovery process started. When we apply action. It says, remember, while it's healthy to reveal your true self, choosing the right place. Oh, we already talked about that. So it says, find someone who can help you navigate your own uncomfortable journeys. And that's like I said a little bit ago. Like I have to find somebody that I can really trust and who I can really talk to, so they can help me guide me through life. And I do that with my sponsor, right? And I do that with other people that in my network that can help me in any given day, and I'm there for them. I know in active addiction that helping me and them helping me, and me helping them. It was about the drugs and alcohol. It's back and forth. What can I get from you? What can you get from me? There was no genuine emotions and feelings attached to it, and really trying to help somebody. It was always self-serving, self-helping, and selfishness and self-centeredness. What can I get from you, and what can you get from me? In recovery, like we talk with each other, and we genuinely care about each other, and we're willing to help. And like there's no strings attached, right? I don't want nothing from you, they don't want nothing from me. It's not about money or what kind of get, the give and take kind of deal. We're just generally trying to help you try to get better and try to get another day. Let's see here. Where am I at? It says, give yourself permission to struggle and believe in your ability to overcome. Strive to live purposefully, not perfectly, and never underestimate your ability to rebound from a challenge. It's common for people, coaches, and therapists, it's particular to think they should have all the answers. When they don't seed of doubt is planted and they come to believe there's no recovery from a setback. Your life struggles are not a life sentence. They're a chance to step back, examine how you found yourself in prison, and discover you had access to the key all along. You just had to check in with a gatekeeper. Wow, that's powerful. It says every experience is a good experience. Eventually, seize the opportunity to learn something new about yourself through the inner reflection from a gatekeeper, a coach, a mentor, a peer, and be patient. Sometimes the lessons we destined to learn take time to show themselves. Keep an open mind and open your heart. So it says, seize the opportunity to learn something new about yourself. And it's the inner reflection. So I had to reflect on some of the things I was doing in life, right? Who am I? What am I doing wrong? Why am I keep on doing these things? Like a self-reflection. You still do that in recovery, but so one of the things that I do is step work. I do book work and talking to my sponsor and other recovering addicts. You do a self-reflection, and one of the things it's freeing to reflect on the things I've done, the things I've been through, and getting rid of all the stuff I created in my self-made prison to share it with somebody else that I can trust. It's freeing, right? Because I don't have to carry this stuff no more, right? I had a lot of baggage when I came in here, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of fear, and that can weigh you down, and that can run you back out the door. And talking about you made your self-made prison and you had the key the whole time, right? I created this self-made prison and I had the key to unlock it, right? So that's like the insidious and the sneakiness of the disease of addiction, right? It tells us things, right? It tells us things in our own voice, and it makes us. It's very sneaky. It's very creative, right? And I have to be conscious and aware of this on a daily basis, right? Because when we come into recovery, we don't get perfect. We just get better. And the disease of addiction is always present, right? I have to be conscious and aware and of my surroundings, who I'm hanging around with, people, places, and things, what I'm saying, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, right? That's why I have things and I have people that I trust in recovery that can help me and guide me and say, I don't think you're okay. I don't think you're doing okay, because we build these relationships in recovery to not hurt you, but to help you, right? So, sometimes we can get defensive or get upset if we get, what was the word called, that the criticism, right? If we're getting criticized and stuff like that. But it gives us an opportunity to look at ourselves and to change and grow. Because I can't spot self-deception. I can't spot my own. Since I've been in recovery, I have gotten better at spotting my own defects and shortcomings and stuff like that. But sometimes when we're stuck in these things, we don't see ourselves, right? So that's why I have a strong network to like bring that stuff to a head, right? And say, hey, I don't think what you're saying or doing it's not acceptable, right? It's like a pull up. We pull each other up, and it's, not like I said, not to harm you, not to upset you, just to help you, but we can get defensive, right? So it's possible to be authentic and vulnerable while still being strong and reliable. Give yourself permission to embrace your perfect imperfections and live your life with purpose. And if Ricardo talked about being your authentic self, right? And like that's something I ran from. I ran from myself, and that's why I used drugs and alcohol for so long. I suppressed my emotions and feelings. I suppressed who I was, and I drowned myself in drugs and alcohol. And like I was running from something, right? Like I was running from my emotions and feelings, and I was running from reality. And like at the time, I couldn't live life without drugs and alcohol. I didn't know how because I used since I was 11, 12 years old, right? I started using at a very young age. So like, and me growing up through my teens and into adulthood, like my mind was still in that childhood like of like, because I believe it like we stop growing mentally when we start using drugs and alcohol, right? Because like I wasn't willing to learn. I wasn't going to school. I wasn't listening to nobody, and I would just use drugs and alcohol. So think about it, like my mental state and my knowledge and my thoughts, my feelings and emotions were very clouded, right? So I had to break free of that, and like I actually grew up in recovery, and that's through sponsorship and working on myself and people in my network and my family and friends showing me how to live life without drugs and alcohol. And that takes time. I will have to keep working on myself until the day I die, um, and continue to work on myself on a daily basis. So I don't go back to the ways I was living. And I learned that from other people's stories, right? I like living, I like learning by other people's mistakes than my own, right? Because that's all I did. I would keep doing mistakes. I keep doing this and keep doing that. And eventually I had to learn from them. I had consequences and stuff. So you know, I learned from others today what to do and not to do. And so I surround myself with people, places, and things that are positive and doing the right things and actually doing some work on themselves. And I started to get better. I think this last part says, "How do you break free from your inner prison?" I love to hear about the ways you unlock the door to understanding and growth. So one of the things I talked about that how to break free from my self-made prison, like I surrendered, I accepted that I was an addict, right, and I can't use any type of substance, right. I tried and tried and tried for many many years, combinations of drugs and alcohol, mixtures, stop doing this but doing that. Uh, I wasn't willing. I wasn't willing to listen. I wasn't willing to take direction. I was very self-centered and selfish, and so I had to break free from myself and surrender and accept the fact that I can't live life with drugs or without drugs and alcohol. So I had to do something different this time, and for me, it had to been putting the drugs and alcohol down first. That was the first step. Then guess what? I still have a problem. I still have a me problem. And that's the part I have to work on and continue to work on for the rest of my life. And I'm very blessed and very fortunate that I have another opportunity and a second chance to live life. And talking about purpose in here, like my purpose is to get back to uh, to my community, to other recovering addicts, to the still sick and suffering, to my coworkers, to my family, to my friends. You know, because I damaged and corrupted and caused conflict and chaos to everyone and everything around me, right? So to make amends and to give it back, that's my purpose today. But that was our meeting for today. This is our Freedom Fridays meeting, and it was Live with Purpose by Breaking Out of Your Self-Made Prison. And if you want this article, you can go to drpatwilliams.com. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Until next time, we'll see you later.